When I think about Harvey today, I still get really emotional.
I always have in my mind 10 inches in 24 hours. It's something that I remember after Allison, and it's when you have 10 inches in 24 hours, Houston is in trouble.
So I was probably one of those first people. It started like the night of the storm when we were getting calls from OEM and wanted to stand up sites for people to go to that were being rescued. Stephen arranged for somebody, I think it was from Solid Waste or Public Works, to pick us up from Stadium. So it was me and Dr. Schulte. And so we waited here and the truck picked us up from here and took us down to the George R. Brown.
So in a high water vehicle, so we were somewhat safe, but watching the neighborhoods be flooded out all around us and making our way in to report to service, again, was something I felt an overwhelming responsibility to do. But at the same time, it was, very scary. And like I said, I still get quite emotional.
Communication was coming in that it was going to really be a bad storm. And so I remember galvanizing our team, just letting them know, be ready and be aware, getting our communications equipment together, getting our systems together, reaching out to our different staff during Harvey to make sure they were okay. Thankfully, we had a robust system, a network in place and communication to where we could actually reach out to people.
Usually when we've dealt with floods, they've been localized, so we deploy our teams to a community after the event. But this is something that impacted the entire community and impacted the community for days. So while we would be able to say to our team members, okay, you're gonna go staff this multi-service center and go work at it. Well, the problem was people couldn't get there. And that's a challenge that was, from my perspective, a new challenge that we hadn't dealt with because this flooding was widespread. So from a leadership perspective, it was, okay, let's rethink how we can do this and let's work remotely and put all the pieces together as we can.
I had to applaud my staff. They stepped up. Many of them who had actually themselves been impacted by Harvey. However, they put their own personal concerns aside to step up. They identified themselves as essential personnel, and they acted as such.
So the environmental health team that was at the George R. Brown shelter, we had teams there 24 hours a day ever since the shelter opened. Our folks had to inspect the cleanliness of the facility. We had to check the food that was being brought in. We were throwing away a lot of food that people were just bringing from home that were trying to be helpful, but you really can't feed that food to people. But we were taking temperatures, making sure everything was clean.
So we decided that we were going to set up like a service area, and we kind of drew it out the night before, and I was like on the day shift and my team were on the night shift. And by the time I got there the next day, it was all set up. We had our stands there. Everybody had their uniforms on, and people started thinking about the health department as their go-to people. Like they knew that they could come to us to get help. And we stood that up overnight. And people began to realize that they could come to us to get help. And that's the thing that I'm always most proud of, is how our people always care about the people in Houston, and they always show up, and they can always be depended on to serve the people in Houston.
I'm not sure we were altogether appreciated for all that we did during Harvey, both at the shelter and throughout the community. But this health department did what it does best. It showed up, it did what needed to be done. It helped Houstonians, whether or not that was written in our job description to do or not. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very happy to be a part of this team.
I remember from the very beginning when we had a call to support out at George R. Brown. It was never a hesitation. It was never a question of, I can't get there. It was always, I'll find a way. Yes, I can do it. I remember, us having to get laptops, us having to get printers, us having to get, all types of communication devices out to the different areas, the different program areas that were at George R. Brown to support, during Harvey. And this person, bar none, from when it comes to our daily job, when it comes to special projects, when it comes to events such as Harvey, is always spot on. And so I definitely appreciate this person for doing the job that they do. I definitely appreciate this person for all the support, and it's always a smile and it's always I can do attitude. So I just want to thank personally Doyce White for the job that he does every day, and especially during Harvey.
Proud to really talk about a member of our own division, Community Health Services. We have a young lady, a nurse actually, who experienced flooding for the third straight year in her own home, who continued to report and show up to work, continued to help administer vaccine, worked long shifts, usually 12 hours at a time, and going home to face the same cleanup for herself. So Shelia Laughlin did a fantastic, amazing job as one of our very own during Harvey.
One of the employees in environmental health was nominated for a Harvey Hero. This person, from day one, worked very hard at the office, went to the shelter, stayed at the shelter, almost lived at the shelter, and helped everybody, not only the citizens, but the other employees there, was Rene Beckham. Rene's been with the health department for more than 30 years. She's always been a great help to everybody, but she really went above and beyond during this hurricane.
This individual actually had some impact from the storm. However, because the individual was aware of other people that were in situations that were more dire than her situation, she gathered up her family, her husband and her family. She went to a multi-service center, and she took it upon herself to open that center and to provide shelter at that center, staying at that center, sleeping at that center until other people could come to the center and assist her man that center. So I can't say enough about, again, the commitment to the work that we do, the dedication, and the true commitment to the standard of excellence that I have seen in this individual. So, in my opinion, Kaylan Henderson is very deserving as a true Harvey hero.
Really excited that we have another member of Community Health Services Division being recognized as a Harvey hero, because in her role in TB control, she has been an outstanding leader in standing up for some of the initiatives and programs that they pride themselves in, raising money during the holidays for patients, and in spite of losing it all, showing up and being passionate and generous in giving back in the face of losing it all herself. That's why I believe LaSandra Jackson deserves to be a Harvey hero.
While the rest of us were still trying to sort out how we can assist and do our part in this and pull out the plan, there was one member of my team who, when I found out, they said to me, "Oh yeah, I'm already here at George R. Brown." And I remember thinking for a moment, like, wait, what? You're not in the book, you're not in the plan, you're already there, what are you doing? And when they told me they said, "Oh yeah, I just came down here because I thought they needed help and I could get down here." And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I was like, I know this person has small children, not just one, several small children. And I know where they live, which is south, even further than where I live, and they were able to make it from where they live all the way to the George R. Brown. And to me, that was an example of like just really core passion and leadership for people, because nobody asked this person to come in. Nobody said, "Hey, you're in the plan. By the way, you're activated. We need you to show up." Before we could even start that structure, this person was already there. And that person is Kellen Sweeny. I was just amazed and really in awe of her, just seeing her and watching her do this.
There's so much I can say about this next Harvey hero. I've known him for a number of years. He's done a lot of work in and around this public health department, and it does not surprise me the work that he did during Harvey. There were so few leaders who could actually report to duty, and because of their own circumstance, those of us who could did. And sometimes that had some consequences, so we couldn't go home again. And that was the situation with Brian Goldberg, in that he could not leave his post and chose not to leave his post because he knew it was his responsibility and it's what we needed to do. So for his dedication, his passion for the work that we do, I'm so happy for Brian Goldberg and his recognition as a Harvey hero.
I've known this Harvey hero for a good while. It's someone that I've always had a genuine level of respect for because of the level of humility that they bring to the table. I would say universally respected. But at the same time, is a person that I say always make me look bad, and they know why I say they make me look bad. And when you hear who that person is, you'll know why. But doing Harvey, this person ensured that their staff was on the spot. And that George R. Brown and the activities there would not have happened without them. It would not have. But this is just characteristics of what they do on a daily basis. When we have our missions, their folks are there to make sure that the logistical support is there. During Harvey, this person experienced a personal loss, but was still on site and ready to serve. He demonstrates his care for everybody, especially the females in the department, by hugging them all the time. And now y'all know I'm talking about Wiley Henry.